Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John, and my co-host is,
This is Ron. Of
And-
course, I'm here.
and of course, this is Real Talk Eastern Shore.
Yes, we are here on the Eastern Shore, actually in Delaware, up on the Upper Shore, pretty much. I guess you can kind of say. I do want to say that last week, I apologize. The comment was made that I hate the smacking lips syndrome. Well, come to find out that me and the co-host John Doe did it a lot last week. So I'm my own enemy. Like, come to learn, I didn't even realize that.
You
That
need
makes
to-
it worse.
Yeah,
Yes.
you need to spin kick yourself.
Yes, and I tell you, man, like last night I kept on looking in the mirror and I was like, man, I need to spin kick myself. I wonder how this is going to work. And I just don't think it can happen. I just really don't, you know? I mean, do you
I know I can't. I ain't that flexible.
Well, I mean, you see me put my foot up someone's face one time. You know, we were messing around and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was just, playing around. Wasn't like being violent or anything. But I can bring my foot up that high, which is pretty impressive for a 275-pound chewed bubble gum. So, I mean, what can I say about that? You know what I mean? So, but, yeah, we're going to get into today. Really hot today. Like, be aware, bring your pets inside. Make sure they enjoy the AC. And that's another thing. I want to know who invented the AC. Who was the guy that sat there and said, it's like 89 degrees out here. I'm sweating. I think I need something cold. Do I get in the fridge? Do you think the fridge would be cold enough? But that would like kill me. So how do I make what can I do with this? Well, how they got the name for the air conditioner, I have no clue. Number one. Do you even know?
No,
Okay, do you know how they made the air conditioner at first at all?
no.
Like Google is your best friend. Just want to let you know that.
Yes,
you
but
know?
I'm not going to Google right now.
I agree with you. Like, it's way too much to do. It's a blessing that we have air conditioning because there's people out there that don't. I see it all the time on Facebook. People are saying, my air conditioning don't work, or, I have a young kid and, I don't have an air conditioner here. We have like 5 fans. Like, I can only imagine how much the bill is for that.
Mhm.
So, be blessed that you got air conditioning. Be blessed that you're alive. There's a lot of people out there that are suffering from a lot of things, being alone right now. I would say, like, I got a question posed to me this week and had to deal with, why am I having a podcast? What is the purpose of the podcast? You're not going to make no money off the podcast. It's a lot of time, spent learning and reading and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it really don't matter. Like, it's not about making money off it. If we make money, so great. Celebrate, we'll have, like I said, drinks are on me, plain and simple. But someone came off like that to me, and it really bothered me because 5 years ago when we talked about this podcast, it was about being in a bar late at night and talking about pretty much, what went on. It wasn't going to be like, I don't know, maybe like 20 listeners if we were, lucky. And I mean, in the last, 2 weeks total with all the episodes, we're at like 190, 200, hits. And I mean, it's not just, from the Eastern Shore that are listening. They're all over the place. I mean, you even know that yourself.
Yeah, we actually just had a new listener, or a few new listeners from Argentina.
For people that does not know, that is South America.
Yes,
Okay.
just like Peru.
Yeah, just like Peru. It's not Africa. It's South America. It's dead south. Probably like, what is that? Like 3,000 miles away, 5,000 miles away,
Roughly.
roughly. So
Yeah.
so do you know anything about Argentina? I mean, you went to Peru, so I would think it's kind of close. So I mean, right?
I was thinking about that because when I told you we had a new listener in Argentina, you're like, do you know them? And I'm thinking, this guy thinks just because I'm from Peru, I know everyone in South America.
Well, yeah, you could. I don't know. They're like, oh yeah, I was in orphanages with him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, that's the same thing. Does everyone look that color? You know what I mean? Like, you all look alike? No, I just thought you might know. I don't know. It was just, straight comment that came out of my head for some reason. Sometimes I don't think before I talk. So it makes it even better podcast, but terrible as a friend sometimes. So that's a good and bad thing, I guess. But getting back to the story, I was very, I guess you could say I was kind of a little disheartened the fact that this person would say this to me. And I thought they'd know me a little bit better. So maybe like I need to change a little bit. Maybe it's all about making someone happy, someone laugh, someone smile. There's so many people out here that are dealing with so much stuff right now. Just sitting here, I'm sitting here sweating to death, literally, and going to myself like, how much longer am I going to be out here in this nice, beautiful air? Which, thank God, the wind is blowing a little bit. It really was upsetting to think about someone would say something like that.
I could, well, not that I could see why they would ask you that. Maybe the tone they asked you was a bad tone. But remember, at one point in your life, you were straight hustling. You were working, going to the bar, waking up 3 hours later, going back to work because you wanted to make a better life for yourself.
Yes, that
So
is correct. That is
I,
correct.
I don't know if that's what they were thinking, that you're trying to replace your whole career with this,
Well,
which is,
it would be great if it happened, but I'm not sitting here, pushing the envelope going, you know what, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and this is how I'm going to do. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk in this mic. So all of my 185 listeners now out there, or maybe it's like 60, I don't know what it is, that statistic. But I mean, at the whole scheme of things, it's not about like, if we do get, money out of this, that's fine. It's a sponsorship. I'm great with that. That's not a big deal for me. But like the biggest deal is just to make someone happy. I was reading today that, you know, our podcast is about 45 to 50 minutes long. So for every 45 or 50 minutes along, there's approximately 4 to 5 suicides. Now, yeah, matter of fact, it might be more than that, but I think it's like 4 to 5 suicides. So as this podcast go, if you think about it, someone is literally committing suicide, and that's scary to think about.
mhm.
Someone, their life is so they can't deal with the demons, or they can't deal with the pressure, and they have no escape. They feel like they don't have no escape. They don't want to be, back in the time when I was growing up, it was you're a man, you need to suck it up and take care of it, this and that. And it's hard nowadays, like youngers, olders, stuff like that. You don't want to be classified a certain thing. Everyone's scared to be judged. No one wants to be judged. No one wants to be looked as a weakling, or this person's weak, or this and that. It's not about that anymore in life. The culture has changed a lot. It's like the cancel culture. Cancel. Cancel culture. Um, a lot of things have changed since then, and if people need help, they should reach out. They shouldn't feel like they're alone. I mean, there's people huddled up crying over, and we have no clue what they're crying about. But there's so much going on in the world, like war. There's been war just about every day in life. My mom used to tell me if there was ever peace, the world would come to the end, and I kind of believe that, because if there's no war, I mean, there's no peace. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we doing this podcast, to help people. If we can make them smile, make them laugh, whatever. If just talk to us, they can talk to us by messenger. We will have a phone line next week, so you can call in, and go from there. Just so much is out there per person, like the demons that people face every day, and we all have demons. We've all done wrong, we've all done good, but at the end of the day, we have to look at it at a volume of the good and bad we've done, and if we're able to overcome the bad that is there and keep it out of our mind, because you are I mean, as a person myself, a human being, which I think I am, we have these demons that sometimes overcome everything else, and it just eats you with that, and we gotta be there for people. So
And if you don't want to reach out to us to just have someone to talk to, that's totally fine. Just want to relay out there, there's a new suicide hotline that all you have to dial is 988, and it'll take you right straight to them.
yeah, and that's someone, if you just want to talk to them. There's so many people out there, that don't know what to do, and bills pile up, because bills can take you down, mentally. When you think you're ahead, someone brings you back. You just gotta strive for the best. See that light at the end of the tunnel, because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It might not be the brightest light at first, but it takes time. Everything is built step by step, not just one shot. I mean, it's not like a lottery. And if you know anything about the lottery, a lot of people that win the lottery go broke
Hmm.
because they don't know how to manage money. Because they just say, "Oh, well, I got $250,000 million, and I'm going to spend on this. Before you know it, they got friends they don't even know about. Oh, well, I'll buy this. Before you know it, man, 250 million is a lot, but you spend it on yachts, houses, and shit. It won't take long.
No.
It does not take long.
Plus taxes.
Yeah, man. That's a whole different ball game on this because at the end of the day, I always think we should be charged taxes. If they're going to tax something, they need to tax it in the things we buy. They shouldn't even tax us in our paychecks. Personally, I just think they should tax everything, put it up 10%. I mean, the money goes back anyway if you do that, but that gives more money to spend, and that gives more money. People are going to spend more money that way. There's a lot of people out there only making like I don't know, like $200 a paycheck. You take the taxes out, they can afford more stuff. That would actually kind of maybe not cure homelessness, but it kind of gives a little bit of hope. Hey, I got this money coming to my check. I don't have to sit there and worry about the 30%. I think it's 24 or 30% out of your check they take.
I don't know. I stopped looking after the first time I cried when I took a look at my check.
Yes, no doubt. Like, I mean, it's upsetting to deal with it on a regular basis because that's all you deal with is just taxes and Social Security. And I mean, it sucks because they say Social Security is going to be non-existent. There's not going to be one. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, just everything going through the government is just I wouldn't want to get into that. But besides that, if you need any help, if you need anything, if you just want to talk or you just want to text or just want a message, we're here for you too. We'll give you our best advice. Like we've said, we're not professionals. We're far from professionals. Our biggest, I think, our biggest thing I would say is the gift for Gab. He's smarter than me, so like I guess that's better. Well, he's more appropriate. Let's put it that way. When it comes to sensing, like he makes sure all his senses are formed with the T's and the I's and dotted and punctuation points and question marks and exclamation points and well, don't put there. It's there. It's the same thing. Well, you misspelled it. Oh, Jesus, grammar. Your grammar. I just, I just felt like I need to touch that real quick and, put it out there that, we're not here to make money off this. If it happens, it happens. And it'll be a blessing. But it's not necessarily why we're doing this. This is all about our fun little side thing that we're doing, enjoying ourselves, just sitting there conversating among each other, telling you about life, how we feel, seeing what, is out there. I mean, Eastern Shore, where we live at, is kind of docile to a point. There's not really a lot here, would you say?
Yeah, there's not really a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things to look at, a lot of places to visit, but compared to major cities, no.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to it. I mean, it's houses, buildings, mall, beach, and if you go on the beach, I would watch myself anyway because you never know what's in there anyway. But I mean, there's not much to it. So I mean, we're trying to give a little bit alternative, something that comes from Eastern Shore. I mean, there is people that have made it in life from the Eastern Shore, like
Hmm.
made TV or they're in sports and stuff. It's not a regular. It's just every once in a while.
Right.
It's an anomaly. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about our topic of today, which was
What song takes you to a happy place or, a sad place? Something that really touches you.
touch. Well, I don't
Not
know if
like
I
that,
want to.
Ron. Not like that.
I don't want no song to touch me like that. Really don't want.
Emotionally.
I really Zach. Emotionally, yes. Physically, me and him's going to fight. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we thought there would be a lot more responses, but it wasn't, which is fine. We can definitely fill in the responses. I got probably a few. But go ahead with. You said someone did respond.
Yeah, we had one response by a young man. We're going to call him C. His song was Dear Agony by Breaking Benjamin.
So what did you get out of the song? Like, what did you feel about his comments when he said that it had to do with his parents divorcing and splitting up?
Um, well, I had not heard it before. I had to actually put on YouTube and search for it. And I was like, that is a sad song.
It is. I listened to it today at work. I've heard it before. It's been a little while ago since I heard it, but I felt like there was a burden to this young man, and he felt like it might have been his fault that this caused, or felt like he don't know where to turn or where to run. Like he just wants to run away from the situation. It is not your fault. Nothing that parents um, get into this situation of divorce is ever a kid's fault or a young man's fault or
Mhm.
a young woman's fault. We sometimes are better off not together than we are together. You're talking to a man that has three baby mamas, so I know all about this pretty well,
Just a little bit.
just a tad. So sometimes, in life, you get along with somebody for a long time and then things change. I think everyone changes in certain ways,
Mhm.
certain distances, certain aspects of life. And I think when that happens, the change in the relationship changes as well. It's not like, it was really good, and oh, I'm in love and this is this and we're going to have marriage and we get married and we got roses and we got 2.5 kids and a 1.5 cat and like a third of a dog or something with a white picket fence or whatever. You know, it, it just don't work that way. Like, unfortunately, my mom and dad were married all their lives together. I was always taught like when you get married, that's it. You do not divorce. There's no such thing as divorce, and don't ever divorce. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for me, which I was married for 6 months and got divorced because she cheated on me. But that's fine. I guess there was things that I was young, she was young, and that's something I forgave a long time ago, and I'm thankful that I did because that would be a lot of anger built up for a long time. There's a lot of space between where you start as a relationship and where you end as a relationship, and through that space, you guys have to work together. And sometimes people don't work together, they work on their own. They only think, well, this is the way it should be. Or, you start off the relationship, well, this is what I should do, this is what she should do, or he should do this, and I should do this. It never works that way. The perfect relationship in your mind never works. I don't think there's anything called a perfect relationship because each relationship is different. It's like case by case. If you don't do case by case, then if you go by like the status quo, then there'll be nothing there. I mean, the relationship is not going to be there. It's just going to be dead. In my opinion.
No, relationship, marriage, it's all work, and you just have to be willing to put in the work.
Yes, but I don't see. That's my thing. Like, I don't feel like a relationship should be work. I mean, just my opinion, because like it shouldn't be work because work you get paid. Number one,
I didn't say it should be work. I said it is work.
but is it work? Is it technically? And I don't feel like it's work. I feel like it's more of an activity. Like, because if it's work, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hard to maintain a relationship. Plain and simple. Just
And
because,
that's the work.
yeah, but that's not work to me. Because at the end of the day, you know what this person's about. You know their ins and outs. You know the flaws. You know the goods, the bads, the uglies, especially when they wake up in the morning with bedhead. But I mean, the thing is, like, I don't feel like it's work. I feel like it should be more classified as an activity because it's kind of like the same thing as I feel about kids. When you have kids, and I hear someone, well, that's a second job. No, it's not.
Oh, we're gonna hear about you.
You're blessed. You are 100% blessed to have kids. There's people out here who can't have kids at all. That would be terrific moms and dads. And you tell me it's work? It is not work. You're blessed. And if you classify it work, then you might not deserve them, in my opinion. Because I just don't feel that way. I feel like, you shouldn't classify it work.
No, it's work.
I disagree. I totally disagree. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's I don't know how many kids there are in the world. And yes, they are ornery. They start acting like you. So if they start acting like you, how can it be work? Because you made them that way.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Well, yeah, so it's not work. You know what I mean? You didn't put no work in to do that. You just became activity there. So,
Maybe that's the problem.
You know what? So there we go. I'll cut you in the middle here. I believe that if they're good kids, they're activity. If they're bad kids, because you did and made them into a bad kid or whatever, or they arm you and stuff, maybe that is work. Maybe that's what work's all about for that child. You know what I mean? We'll go with that. Are you? Will you agree with that one or no?
That would be the only way to end this conversation.
No, it's not that bad. I mean, it's just factual. I just don't like. I don't like that word.
Well, it's not factual.
No,
It's your
It's
opinion.
opinion. Well, unpopular opinion. There you go. You know, and
That's
I
what
like.
I wanted to name this.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, it's just like the thing. You know, if you look at it, I just don't feel, anything that you put yourself into that is going to be one way or another. I guess, like in a relationship wise or something that because some of my kids are spitting images of me. I mean, don't get me wrong. My oldest daughter is terrible. I love her to death, man, but she has got a mouth on her. And I'm telling you right now, I know you don't know her mom, but her mom is so much like me. She is so controlling to a point that it's not even funny, which I know if she ever hears this, she's going to blow up. But that's fine. I don't even care. Like, it's factual. That's facts. Okay? That is, you can't dispute
I
facts.
can't because I don't know.
Exactly. You can't dispute my fact. Okay? How about that? But, as far as like the relationship wise, like I was saying, sorry, I got off on a tantrum. Relationships to me, like I said, is not work, but this young man should never feel like he's at fault. He should never feel like he's the reason why it went the way it went.
Oh wow, we went
You
back
know.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I mean, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't we have episode 2 that said ADHD is real? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Which is fine. You know, I mean, it's 50 stories into one. You know, I mean, I don't know how many more podcasts, or well, how many podcasts are out there like that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It makes us unique. It makes us our own little way. It's our work, as you would say it. Our
No,
work.
it's an activity.
Oh, now it's an activity now.
We're not getting paid. It's not work.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, hold on. Charity. There you go. It's charity.
Charity.
Charity. Me and you are charity on podcast. You go with that? I'll go with that. Okay,
Sure.
good. Yeah, there we go. So it's whatever. But at the end of the day, young man, keep your head up. Don't let it sweat you. You know, don't let it get to you. Sometimes parents make these decisions in the best of your interest because they do not want you to see them fighting or causing more problems than what there could be. And just don't ever think it's your fault at the end of the day. So God bless you and go from there.
So what's one of your songs? You say you have plenty.
Oh, I got plenty. I think it was a couple days ago. I'm just riding around, and I don't really listen to rap anymore. I used to listen to rap so much when I was younger, but now, like I guess about 10 years ago, I went to more alternative music and like grunge and stuff like that. Which grunge is dead, but I still listen to some stuff. What was it? There was a song that I heard the other day. It was by Papa Roach. It was Apologies. It really hit home to me. Like listening to it. I have a son that's 25, and I have a grandson which I think is 2 now, and I haven't seen my son in probably 7 years, 8 years probably.
When were we bartending at the bar?
Like 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I mean, there's he has some animosity towards me, and that's fine. I understand. But it's very disheartening to me that I have never seen my grandson. It hurts. There's times that I'll be driving and all of a sudden I'm like, man, and I'll start daydreaming. I'll just do it. Like, what am I doing? Oh, I'm back on the road. You know what I mean, like that. And I mean, it's kind of it sucks. The fact that this is my grandchild I've never seen. I can barely tell you what he looks like. I mean, he looks like he does look like Corey, my son. He does. Unfortunately, Corey got hooked up with the wrong person. Unfortunately, but I mean that's just one. I guess the biggest one that I could relate to more than anything. So when I was going through that spell of homelessness and felt hopeless and felt like there was no one that cared or no one was there or I didn't want to be a burden on somebody. Um, I would, fall asleep, and every once in a while you hear a song, like, oh, that's nice, stuff like that. But I'll never ever you ever heard of Seether,
Hmm.
Rise Above This. So I would hear that song and I would listen to it, and I'm like, what is that about? That I can kind of relate to this. So I looked up, and it had to do with the lead singer's brother, I believe, and he committed suicide. And it was pretty much, rise above your demons, the clouds, the stuff that makes you dark and stuff like that. And I mean, I really resonated with that. Like I could really like relate to it. And I mean, I still listen to it every
Hmm.
once in a while, when I feel down, or it just made me feel better, which is kind of unique, I guess you can kind of say.
Yeah.
So. And then like my cornball song, I'm gonna call it cornball.
Cornball.
So, and I don't want to get this wrong. I want to say it's by REM. You remember REM back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember the song Happy Shiny People?
Hmm.
Every time I hear that, I just feel stupid. Like I sit back. Like I've heard it probably like 3 times in the last year, probably. But like I hear it, I'm like, just people with no cares, just enjoying life. Like just not caring about what's going on around them, just enjoying life. And I mean, granted, it is a cornball song, and I'm not a person that really like. I remember when it came out, I wouldn't even listen to it. You could have threw me the CD. You could have bought the CD for me. I would have burned it in front of you. Like, because I just hated REM. I hated all that kind of genre music. But now getting older, like I start listening to it more, and I'm like, wow, like this is a corny song. Like, where did they ever get this from? Like, who sat there and was like, we're gonna put this on track. Let's do Shiny Happy People. Yeah, I think that's gonna go well. And I do believe it was a #1 song for a long time. I do believe.
I'm not sure.
I we'll have to ask Mr. Google, and we'll come back to it next episode.
Yeah, if you know, let us know.
Yes, definitely. So I mean, that's just 3 throwaways about me that I can resonate with the song and stuff like that. Did you have any at all?
I had two. You know the song, well, "In the End" by Linkin Park when it first came out. I
Yeah.
was high school.
High school. So you were like 13, 16?
So, we'll say something like that.
What high school did you go to anyway?
Rio Rico, Arizona. In Arizona. Rio Rico
Rio Rico.
High School in
Is that
Arizona.
still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's in Rio Rico, Arizona.
Okay. Well, there you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. But when that came out, I was a loner pretty much all through high school until I met a few friends.
Hmm.
But I'm like, in the end, what's going to happen? It's like, just, I didn't know what life had in store for me. And so I was always a loner, going home, going to school, not talking to anyone. Like, I'm just all alone.
All alone, yeah.
In the end, what the hell?
Yeah, and you didn't really have anybody to talk to and spill out to.
Right.
So I mean, so sorry to get off the topic, which I'm good at. What brought you here to the Eastern Shore?
Oh, my mom moved to the Eastern Shore while I was in the Marine Corps. And when I got out, she wanted someone to stay with my grandma while she was on duty to Iraq.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I did not know that. That's a new tidbit I know now, right?
As you can see, I don't share much unless people ask.
Yeah, like like getting information from you is like digging a hole on a concrete barrier. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead. I mean, sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. The second song is it's not a recent song, but I heard it recently. It's called I Loved Her First. I forget who sung it because it came on the radio a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
It's country, and it's about your daughter. When, she's growing up and she's getting married, and I heard that song and I practically teared up on my way to work. Hey,
About my daughter. Which one?
my daughter.
Oh, I thought you said my daughter because you said my daughter.
It's about your daughter.
But you were looking
general.
at me like this, my daughter, and I'm thinking about
I didn't
my
tear up
daughter.
about
Why
your
did you think
daughter.
about my daughter? I mean, granted, she's out there, but I mean, still, I can reel it back in a little bit.
But I'm like, no, I loved her first.
Well, of
Get away
course.
from her.
There, that's always, you know, your daughter. You'll always be her first love. That's what they
Hmm.
say. Um, there's no such thing as, you know. I mean, there's mommy's girls, but I mean, there's more daddy girls than there's
Yeah.
mommy girls because they look up and you're there to protect them. You're there to make sure they do the right decisions in life. You're there to, you know, they look at you as like, you know, the supreme being kind of, you know, and you know, unfortunately, being, two daughters in, and they don't see me as much as they should.
Hmm.
Um, I can't say I know the feeling so much, but I mean, I can understand the feeling, and that's the ultimate feeling.
Yeah.
So
And that's why, like, when I work during the week, I leave before she wakes up. Because the few times that she has seen me get up and get ready for work and leave, she gives me this sad face that makes me just want to stay. I'm like, don't make me feel guilty.
well, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make you feel guilty.
And she
Even when
did.
you go out to the store, like, you go to the store, they want something that you bring back. They're like, oh, and then when you don't bring it back, oh man, it's going to go down bad.
Oh no! And today she knew I was coming here. She just gave me a sad face. But I want you. I'm like,
Oh,
I can't. I got to do this.
I got to make this happen because you know what? This is a commitment that we made.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad one,
No. And I
and
told her I'll be back.
I'll be back in no time. Just
Yeah.
just go ahead and play with the dog and some electric fence, and we'll be fine. You know what I mean? So, no, but we do not promote electricity to any kid. Okay, so but
I'm glad you said that.
yeah, well, I just want to clarify that so people go, oh my God, listen, that was outlandish. Because people always jump the gun anymore. Like they're willing to sit there and say, oh, well, did you hear what he said? He said this and he said that. Well, some opinions are everyone don't have to think the same. Um, Something like that is totally different. But like people have different opinions and people have different, I guess say agendas.
Mhm.
And I think differently than some people. I think everyone thinks differently in something. It could be just normal house or what they wear and stuff like that. But everyone is not the same. And when you group everyone the same, it becomes a bad situation because then you become robots pretty much. Everyone's thinking this or this is how it goes, this is how it is. It's just like um, the situation that we deal with in America now. Half the people think this way. Life should be here, and other people feel it should be over here. You know, and that's something that needs to be more clarification and more open for everything of discussion. But there's no discussion between two sides. It's just this how we should live life. This how we should live life. That's it. There's no middle ground, unfortunately, and that's something hopefully I don't think we'll ever see the peace in the middle,
Right.
but it'll just always be far left, far right, and maybe one day it'll get closure sooner or later. Which I just don't see.
I think that's not in our time.
No, I don't. Well, if you go by the scriptures of the Bible, which would be dead, I think it was like 30 years ago, or like the Earth was going to end 2000. Remember the Y2 K situation? Yeah,
Oh, that was computer related.
yeah, but they were saying that the Earth was going to explode or something like that, or like stuff like that. Like I don't even buy into that. Like if it happens, it happens. Because guess what? If it happens, we're not going to be on podcast anymore,
No.
and we're not going to be here anyway, and no one's going to be here. So who's going to listen to me? What the animals are going to die too. So I mean, what's going to listen to me? Like still like aliens? Like I mean, which that's another conversation for another day.
Aliens.
Aliens, like, do they exist? Are they exist? Where do they exist? And who are they to exist with? So, like I said, no one knows. I mean, it could be to the point where there is aliens. I don't know. No one knows.
It's hard to believe there's no other life out there.
Yeah, there's got to be life.
I'm not saying there is, but it's hard to believe there isn't.
Oh, I agree with you. I think there is life out there. I just don't know what it is. Maybe it's just shock waves or something. I don't know. Like you talk about black holes, which some people have black hole stomachs that just keep on eating and never end. But that's so much more difficult to talk about, and that'd be something. I mean, I guess when they were going to raid what Area 57 was it
51.
51, 57, 59, something like that. They were going to see if there was aliens in there. Like they can't shoot us all. That was the expression. I'm thinking to myself, Oh, they could do it. Don't worry about that. They could do it. So I would have never even thought about doing that. That's just crazy. I mean, that's suicidal. If you really think about that, that is suicidal.
Hmm.
Why would you rush? It's a military,
Yeah.
in, installment. I would never do that. That's just crazy. But yeah, it's been an interesting so far today. It's actually cooled down. Have you felt it cool down?
Yeah, it's nice. I'm not sweating anymore.
Yes, I feel like it's like 30 degrees now. Well, maybe not 30, but
Like in the 70s.
yes. So, talking about everything. It's funny that we brought up talk about songs and like some of the songs you brought up about your little girl and when she looks at you and it melts you
Yeah.
100%. Which people be like, melts who? John? No, nothing melts him.
I'm sure someone's going to say that.
Yeah.
Like, no, not that guy.
That's a lie.
He's an a-hole.
He's sitting there just prompting for the radio, being on the podcast. Nah, John has a heart, even though he don't want no one to know that. But I mean, John's a good person, better than me. That's what I'll say, and I'll put it out like that. I don't even care, but it is what it is. Um, you know, being on this podcast has helped me a lot, mentally, more than anything. Learning about myself, stuff like that. Stories that I've talked about, stories that I guess we haven't heard yet. That's going to come through. We know everyone here, listens to us. Been grateful for every listener we've had here, and I never thought that a podcast would be so. I guess the best term, challenging but rewarding
Mm-hmm.
per se.
Yeah.
Because you have to continuously think. You prep a little bit, which we kind of
We
prep
kind of prep a little bit.
We don't prep enough.
No, we don't.
But I mean, at the same token, we try to take what we know and take what we say, and take us. There's stories out there, kind of coexist with everything. And I mean, you just hope that at the end of the day, someone takes it home with them or listens to them, listens to this and go, that was good. That was good. That was good. It made me happy, or made me feel a certain way.
Mhm.
And I don't want no negativity. But I mean, just like anything, there's positives and negatives. So the pros and cons. So I mean, if we have negative responses, that's fine. I get it. They say, oh well, you're boring, blah blah blah. That's fine. We'll try to make it more interesting. Maybe I will figure something out. Maybe I don't know. And maybe we'll do some kind of challenge or something
Yeah, next week he's going to do the Ghost Pepper Challenge.
Yes, and I'm gonna die right on the on the mic. That would be great. I can't even listen to. I can't eat nothing hot.
Some of the guys in IT at work thought they would give me a Ghost Pepper black noodle, like ramen, but it's Ghost Pepper seasoning. I was eating it, and they were just all staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell's wrong with you? You're still eating it.
Do you like hot stuff?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Like, how hot can you go?
Well, apparently Ghost Pepper.
That's what. Oh, is that the hottest?
And that's not the hottest. But apparently that's 1 million Scoville.
Ooh, yeah. Once I get past a little bit of cayenne pepper, I'm done. I don't like nothing hot. I like my food hot, but I don't like sauces and stuff hot. I like the taste of flavor. When you got something that hot, I don't feel like.
Oh no, you don't taste it. No.
You know what I mean? You just taste nothing but that hotness.
I tasted the flavor a little bit, but the hotness definitely took over.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with that. Like, I mean, I don't want this man versus food challenge. Get this out of here,
Hey, you started with the challenge thing.
Whoa, I didn't say nothing about food. I did not say. I was thinking to myself, maybe I'll just, I'll take my shirt off and run down the road screaming, I love Ron and John's show or something,
But that's not a challenge. You did that last week.
Yeah, but I'll wear speedos this time. How about that? Okay, there we go. What? It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No.
I can promise you that. If it happens, there's a good chance you will not hear me the next week. I can promise you.
Actually, you might. You'll be on the news.
Yeah, I might be on that one, and I don't like being on that one. I don't want to be on that one. So let's try to keep it a little bit more civilized if we can. Be nice, maybe maybe he can drink dirty bath water. I don't know.
Oh.
I'll get sick everywhere. It's like, that's where we're going with that. But I mean, there's so much stuff we can figure out. But I mean, that'll be some, I guess we can look forward in the future. Um, as that being said, I think, thinking about, stuff that we talked about today, I remember being at Dave's place and you see the vibe and you can see, certain songs that are played
Hmm.
and you watch people and you watch them, they'll, maybe nod their head or, the girls will go dancing. And I mean, what, if you had 30 girls on the dance floor, you might have one or two guys if you're lucky. Because guys are like wallflowers,
Hmm.
I remember being in Dave's one time, and I think no one was dancing, and everyone. It was like a high school dance. Like everyone's looking at each other, like, "What are you gonna do? Oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" I, it's funny because, like, all those times at the bar that I took, and watching people, I never really, you know, took an interest of people that were like, I guess you say, depressed when they would listen to the song,
Hmm.
or like, I mean, I think I've seen a couple people cry when a song would play or stuff like that, but like not on that end. It was usually up, and when you drink, you change feelings anyway. But I mean, it's kind of interesting how a song can make someone feel a certain way,
Yeah.
or maybe just the riff, or like the drum, or like the rap, like someone hears it, they feel a certain way. They feel, oh yeah, I can rap too, or oh man, that was great. That just made me feel wonderful. I mean, I think there was something on MythBusters. They were pulling something. It was five rollerblade girls, women, and they were pulling something, and they played no music. I think it was gospel music, rap music. I think it was heavy metal music, rock music, and it showed the end, like the most heavier music made you have more power. It made you do more because I guess you say the vibe,
Hmm.
maybe the instrumental made your blood go faster and stuff like that. Which I don't know if you ever saw that episode, but
No.
I saw it one. I want to say it was on MythBusters. I could be wrong though, and I've been wrong many times anyway. But I mean that's the thing. So I mean, is there anything you want to add to that, or
No, not really.
I totally threw you off, didn't I? I'm
Yeah.
good for that. I'm really good for
I
that.
can't match your ADHD.
Man, I tell you, the funny part, I've never been, diagnosed with it. You would think by now people would be like, you go to doctors. You know what I mean? But I've never had that, which I guess is a good thing too, because that would cost me so much money.
Yeah.
Money.
But it's not really a problem.
No, it's not. If you want 4 stories in one, I'm your man. If you want one story one, go to John. Just not. That's how it works. If you want a 25-minute conversation, talk to me. You want a 1 minute conversation, talk to John. Sound about
Yes.
right?
Sounds
Sound about
about
right?
right.
I just want to make sure of that. But like at the end of the day, like everything is what it is, and I'm glad that we're able to do what we do.
Yeah. Hmm.
I would not be able to do it without you, honestly. Um,
I'm glad you finally pushed me
well,
to finally start it.
well, I mean, I don't know if it was a push. I think it was
No, I think at that point I was like, okay, we got to do
you,
this.
you were ready. I think
Yeah, I was ready.
we've been ready for a while, but at the same token, we kind of just was like, nah, if it happens, happens. No, if it happens, happens. And then it got to the point, when's it gonna happen?
Right.
You got to shit or get off the pot, as they say. And I mean, I think we took a hell of a shit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And thank God we didn't dive into that shit. That's all I'm going to say. Which we kind of do, because we're still going at it. You know, you know. After all that being said, I do want to give a special thanks out to first responders out there, firefighters, EMT, EMS, nurses, doctors. I mean, just everyone out there that keeps thriving in the health field. Protects our country. There's so much out there. It's a great profession to get into, from my understanding. I got a lot of friends. I used to be a firefighter myself for about 19 years. Volunteer,
Mhm.
volunteer firefighter. So that means I did not get paid.
Right.
I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning thinking like I was about to run out of there with, I don't know, my hair on fire half the time. Experienced a lot, seen a lot in that too. And that's something, on another episode we can get deeper into.
Hmm.
And, people can be like, well, he's not that bad of a guy after all. I thought he was a dick. You know what I mean? So, which some people might think I still am, but, it's just who I am. But that is if anybody is interested in a health field career, it's very rewarding. It's very tough too. I know a lot of nurses out there, and you see them every day, or you see them every once in a while, and they look stressed, and that's why they go,
Hmm.
and do their thing on the weekend and enjoy themselves and do whatever they got to do and just have fun, because I can only imagine being in like the hospital setting or dealing with certain patients and knowing the outcome that could happen or knowing what they're dealing with. Like, I can't imagine being in that situation at all,
Right.
you know. So I just want to give a shout out to that. Is there anything you would like to say?
Yeah, I'd just like to actually give a shout out myself to all the nurses I know and techs and docs that work in the hospital I do. I know it's not an easy job, but someone's got to do it, and I'm glad it's not me because I would suck at it.
Yes, like I can't imagine, sitting there and, taking care of a patient knowing that the final result is what it's going to be in the next couple of days or something. Or, you know, I know a lot of nurses tell me they don't try to get personally involved. They don't try to get involved mentally with it. But I know certain settings, like your nursing homes and stuff like that, like they get to know the patient and they get to know the person.
Hmm.
And then as time progresses, as that time comes, they take it personally.
Right.
You know,
Oh
they
yeah.
they kind of like break down, which I that's part of mental health. That's part of what is their release, what is gets them over that, what
Hmm.
makes them overcome that situation to keep on performing their job without being like phased, or keep on doing what they have to do. That maybe that's what we'll have to do. Maybe talk to a nurse,
Yeah,
or
we'll have to interview a nurse.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Something we could do differently. Um, just hear their perspective.
Yeah.
Dealing with certain things that are like I guess you say like the normal person wouldn't know.
Right.
Because I know there's some HIPAA laws and stuff like that, and stuff like that. So we don't want to get someone in trouble per se, but just pick their brain a little bit. Ask them questions and see what the responses are, and
Hmm.
so people understand. Like, I know people get mad at nurses a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they get mad because maybe the nurse, said this is what it is, what it's about. But it's not about what the nurse says. The doctor makes the orders.
Hmm.
So the nurses have to follow the orders pretty much.
Yep.
And the nurse is the one or the first line pretty much that deals with the patient's family. And I can't, I can only see, I've never dealt with it, but I can only imagine how it goes. Like, is it really rough all the time? Is it, sometimes good, sometimes bad? People get upset, why can't you do this for him? Or why can't you do that for him? And start screaming. Because I've heard of, certain stories where people like get mad at the nurse and they'll, throw stuff at them or, get belligerent with them. And the nurse can only do so much.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, the nurse only knows what the doctor tells her to a point. And some nurses, like some places, I know nurses got just as much experience as a doctor,
Hmm.
but they are classified as a nurse. So, I can only imagine. Like, I definitely want to do that in the next like maybe month or so. We get
Yeah.
somebody. We have a lot of choices to go with. It depends which angle we want to go with.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd like to interview any first responders.
yeah, that'd be well.
Excuse me.
We should have somebody probably next week or week after. I got to clarify, make sure. We're going to start doing guests here more
Okay.
often. I don't know if we want to bring them here or we want to do a teleconference or a phone or whatever.
Right.
But that's something we definitely want to do.
Yeah.
And I agree wholeheartedly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's been a little bit different than usual. Not so different with the ADHD. But overall, it's been stuff like that. But like I said, if you need anything, something to get off your mind, some just something bothering you, you got an opinion, you want someone to listen to you, you just want to chat, just hit us up on the messenger. It's Real Talk Eastern Shore. It's on Facebook or Bookface as I call it.
Hmm.
Um, just hit us up there, and I mean, we'll be there. It might not be right away, but we'll be there. And once we engage, we'll keep the conversation if we want. That's not a problem at all. But any last words?
Just if you do like what you hear, make sure to like our page and subscribe to our podcast, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, whatever you hear your podcast in. And now we are actually on YouTube.
So we are going youtube.com youtubedd.
Yeah.
I don't think the D is going to include it. No. But we are hitting big time now. YouTube. We are actually going as well as Spotify and Apple, podcasts and stuff. So like this is only growing. It's only going to get bigger. Time will progress. We'll go from there. If there's anything needed, any you want to talk about anything, we're there. I hope this podcast might get you through the day. Might make you smile for a little bit. Might make you laugh a little bit.
And if it does, send us a message.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear positive feedback.
We'd like to hear positive and negative feedback.
Yeah.
Because you only get better by both. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure, we've already had one positive and negative together, of course, but which is fine with me. But at the end of the day, we're here for you guys. Enjoy your rest of your day on the weekend. Just look at your loved ones, just be there for them and enjoy their company, because sooner or later you never know what's going to happen. So for me, Ron, and
from me, John.
From John too as well. I try to laugh them all the time. But for us here at the Ron and John podcast, we want to say, enjoy your weekend and definitely
have a good night.